Hello, fire starters, and welcome to week 3 of the Summer of Loving Me 2017. I'm Christy, and I'm thrilled to be joining this afternoon with you all. And I'm hoping that as we gear up in this week 3 and we look back on some of the compassionate communication that you've been having with yourself and moving through the different week's themes, that this week is going to resonate with you in a deep, deep way. You know that Ann and I love talking about all things pleasure, and I was going to be taking you on a little pleasure walk with me towards the water this evening, and a little downpour rainstorm happened. So you get me all snuggled up with my tea and inside, but I've had a really pleasure-filled day today. And the reason is we've been entertaining a lot this weekend. My parents came on Friday, and my son came over for watching the fireworks, and my brother and his wife, and it's just been a really busy family weekend. And so, as many of you know, Sunday is my reset day, and so I wake up and I have special rituals that I do regarding pulling goddess cards for myself and just setting the intention for the week. And so this week I want you all to be resetting your intentions towards pleasure, because if we don't put pleasure on our to-do list, it usually takes the back burner to everything else. And the problem with that is really pleasure is a way for us to reset. So I want to share with you a little story. On Saturday, my parents and my son and my brother went to the golf outing down here in Madison, and or up here, depending on where you're viewing from. And they had a really great time. But while they were gone, my husband and I really wanted to get ready for the fireworks. And there's this little piece of property. We have about, I'm thinking, under 200 feet of waterfront footage here in our condo association. And much of it is just kind of wild and unused. And about 25 feet of it is totally unusable. It's filled with itchweed. It's filled with thistles. It just is gross to look at. But yet it's the best view of the Capitol, I think. And so here we have this 25 feet out of all of the feet of property that we've been here 2 years, and we just kind of have taken for granted. Just don't go there. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's behind a tree. But it's right there on the waterfront, and it's the best view. So my husband and I took about 30 to 40 minutes on Saturday really cleaning it out, setting our blankets and our chairs up, and that's where we watched the fireworks from. So here is this space, right, of property, and we never even questioned or asked ourselves or anybody in the HOA condo, what can we do with that space? And so now we're looking at it because it's total pleasure filled. It's right there on the water, and I just really can see myself now sitting there with a book or watching the sunset with a glass of wine, because it's just the perfect spot. It's just this little corner of paradise on the water. And a lot of times pleasure is like that, where we just take it for granted. We just assume it will always be there. Or we just don't notice it and we don't do anything with it. And we let it grow weeds and become kind of this inhospitable territory that we just can't enter into. And if you take the time and set your intentions to notice and clean up your life in a way, weed and get rid of all the thistle and the itchweed, so to speak, like what we did, and really make pleasure your intention, it can be like this sweet little piece of property that we cleaned up today, where you can sit and have little, middle, and big pleasures at and enjoy. And that's really what pleasure is. It's the intention of cleaning up your life and decluttering it in such a way that pleasure has a place to grow and to thrive and to be. And if you don't put that on your to-do list, as the top number one priority for yourself, it will take the back burner to everybody else's needs. And if you don't put it on your to-do list to have pleasure in your life in, a big, beautiful way, it will, the year you had last year will be the same year you had this year, right? And you will not be living your absolute best possible potential you. Pleasure resets us. We know that, right? Pleasure taps us into our relationships in deeper ways. So this afternoon, after saying, goodbye to the family last night, I took a bath at 1:30 in the afternoon. I took a walk. I sat and watched one of my favorite shows on Amazon Prime. I took care of myself. I took care of my body. And just like we took care of that little piece of property so that we could enjoy pleasure, that's kind of what we need to be doing this week. And so I really want to challenge you to put pleasure on the top of your to-do list every day. Every day this week for 7 days, what if every decision you made was about, will this give me pleasure? Like, what might be possible in the next week if everything is measured against, will this give me pleasure? And that is your challenge for week 3, to bring some more pleasure, do some weeding in your life, make sure pleasure's on your to-do list, and make sure that you are tapping into your highest potential this week with pleasure. And I want to hear from you. So hop on our Firestarters page. The link is below. And hop on our Firestarters page and join this movement of loving you to the absolute fullest potential. Enjoy week 3 and have lots and lots of juicy pleasure.